Hello and welcome to 1000 PS TV. BMW is presenting the brand new R12 GS, the first proper off-road bike in the R12 range. Stay tuned. Now, what we've got here is clearly a nod to the legendary R80 GS. BMW has definitely taken some inspiration from it with this bike. We've got decent suspension travel, a 21-inch front wheel and optionally an 18-inch rear wheel. This thing absolutely screams off-road. And if we look back once more at the R80, that really was BMW's first true off-road motorcycle, a Dakar winner and at the time the best the brand had to offer. Now, nearly 45 years later, the R12 range is finally getting a proper off-roader. In this video, I'm going to tell you how it looks in terms of design, technology, features and pricing. The price, that's coming right at the end, so stay with us, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Design and ergonomics, like I said, it's clearly a tribute to the R80S, and that GS badge, yes, it's officially called GS, has always stood for Gelände and Straße, off-road and street in BMW speak. Just to keep things simple, and I hope you'll forgive me, I'm going to keep calling it the R12 GS from now on, so you know what I'm talking about. What we've got here is a blend of classic enduro elements with modern tech. Starting with the styling, there's that compact front fairing, long suspension travel, cross-spoked wheels in 21 and optionally 18 inches at the rear. That really highlights the off-road character, while the design language keeps a clear link to the original R80 GS. Visually though, things like the LED headlight bring it right into 2025. As for ergonomics, there's a choice of different seat options. The standard setup is a solo seat that stretches flat along the bike with a seat height of 860 millimeters. That's for the version with the 17-inch rear wheel. There's also an optional two-person seat with the same seat height, and then there's a rally seat that bumps the seat height up by 20 millimeters. If you go for the Enduro Pro package, you get an 18-inch rear wheel, which already brings the seat height up to around 875 millimeters at the rally seat on top, and you're looking at 895 millimeters in total. That extra height is meant to offer a more active riding position for proper off-road riding. To help with luggage, there are extra steel lashing points at the back. The subframe, by the way, is bolted on, not welded, so you can properly strap things down there. The standard foot pegs already have a bit of off-road capability, but with the Enduro package you get larger ones with more grip and surface area, giving you better control in rough terrain. And the aluminum handlebar, which already comes with risers as standard, can be raised by a further 20 millimeters in the rally version to make standing up on the bike more comfortable. All of that just reinforces BMW's off-road ambitions with this machine. Now let's talk engine and drivetrain. We've got the tried and tested Boxer twin, just like in the other R12 models. In this case, it puts out 109 horsepower. It's air and oil cooled with a displacement of 1,170 cubic centimeters, 109 horsepower at 7,000 revs and 150 Newton meters at 6,500. Visually, I really like the single-side exhaust that's rotated to the left and ends in a high-mounted silencer. That helps with ground clearance and protects the system from damage caused by rocks and so on when riding off-road. It also helps with water crossings. It's just better when the exhaust can breathe freely from up top. The GS comes with a steel tubular bridge frame and a bolted-on rear subframe. Like I mentioned earlier, a 21-inch front wheel, perfect for tackling off-road terrain. As standard, we've got a 17-inch rear wheel, which can be swapped out for an 18-inch one if you go for the Enduro Pro variant. And speaking of the chassis, what exactly are we dealing with? At the front, there's a fully adjustable upside-down telescopic fork with 45 mm stanchions, offering 210 mm of travel. At the rear, you've got 200 mm of travel with the shock absorber mounted diagonally on the swing arm. So these are genuinely serious enduro dimensions. When it comes to brakes and ABS, the R12 GS doesn't hold back either. Up front, there's a familiar Brembo twin disc setup with a diameter of 310 millimeters and at the back a single disc with 265 millimeters. The bike features lean angle sensitive ABS and traction control. For off-road use there's the enduro riding mode, which delays intervention a bit. In other words, the traction control allows for more slip and the ABS permits a bit more locking. If you want to switch off the rear ABS entirely though, you'll need to go for the optional Enduro Pro package. As for electronics, while the R12 GS might look classic on the outside, it's thoroughly modern underneath. It comes with 3 standard riding modes: rain, road and of course enduro for off-road use. All 3 modes include what BMW calls dynamic traction control, or DTC, and the good news is it's fully switchable. Also standard is the engine drag torque control, which is designed to prevent the rear wheel from hopping when you're downshifting. Right, let's wrap things up with price, color options and extras. You've seen the images on screen. The R12 GS is available in 3 colors. The standard paintwork is called Night Black Uni. Then there's Light White Uni, which is clearly a strong visual nod to the R80 GS. And finally there's the option 719 Aragonite finish, that olive green shade, which I think gives it a really elegant touch. But of course, as you'd expect, it comes at an extra cost and not a small one. Back to the base price. In Germany, it starts at 16,990 euros. In Austria, you're looking at 19,590 euros. Both of those for the base version, and naturally there's a wide range of optional extras. For example, the up and down quick shifter is not included as standard. The paint job resembling the R80 GS costs roughly 300 euros extra, and then the option 719, that'll set you back quite a bit more, 1,900 euros without the enduro package, or around 2,100 euros if you include it. All of those prices are for the German market. As usual with BMW, the list of optional extras is extensive. Keyless Go is included as standard, but things like the adaptive cornering light, what they call Headlight Pro, are optional extras. At night, that's obviously a big benefit because it lights up the road ahead as you lean into the turn. One last thing. As I was going through the R12 GS pictures, I noticed something with the trained eye I've developed over the past few years. Not a single one of them is a real photo. BMW has only released CGI material here, that is computer-generated images. And now I have to ask you, are you all right with that? Or would you, like me to be honest, prefer to see real people on real bikes? Because the truth is, I honestly don't know what the actual bike looks like. All I've seen is this. I have to put my trust in what the computer is serving up, so to speak. Let's take a quick trip back in time to when BMW used to call the R12 range the R9T range. There was already a model back then. I actually tested it for us in 2021, the BMW Urban GS. And I'd like to draw a quick comparison here. Where does the new R12S fit in? The Urban GS was more of a scrambler style offshoot. The name already hinted at it, urban. The target audience was clearly city riders, and the bike was designed mainly for the road. That one only had a 19-inch front wheel. The suspension travel was nowhere near what we've got now. And to be fair, it was a bit of a poser. Now, with this clear move towards proper off-road riding, I think BMW is really delivering something for people who are into the scrambler vibe, but who also want a serious enduro bike. Yes, of course, it does have a certain weight. I couldn't find any official figure in the text, but the R12 models usually come in at around 220 kilos. Still, thanks to the long suspension travel, the rugged build and the appropriate tires and dimensions, it's a proper off-road alternative for anyone who maybe doesn't get on with the modern style of the GS but still wants a boxer engine and wants to take it off-road. Let me know what you think of this bike. What does enduro mean to you? Is this enough for you or not quite? Either way, I'm looking forward to it. In May, we'll finally get the chance to ride it. That's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching and take care. See you soon and ciao.